to know what happens when the world ends. At least this is an okay bar for running into you.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is something that I've never done before, and I'm so nervous to do this, but I have seen multiple YouTubers do this and I've always wanted to try it. So today I'm going to attempt to be reading for 24 hours. Just saying that literally sounds atrocious. Basically, there's two different ways that people do this. The first way is fully reading for 24 hours. Say I start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I would have to read all throughout the night and read until 1 p.m. or 1 p.m. tomorrow. Or other people do it where you can have a timer going for 24 hours, and basically every single minute that you're reading you would have the timer going, and then if you stop reading you would stop the timer to ensure that you really are reading for the 24 hours. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a mix of both. So I'm going to have the timer, but I'm also going to try to read like all throughout the night and like continue reading, but I know that I am going to need breaks for like eating dinner and taking a shower and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do it that way, see how this goes. Like I said, I've never done this before, and I think I've pulled an all-nighter one time for my senior all-night party. Actually twice, because I also did it when I went on a trip to Panama. That is the only 2 times that I've done it, and that was probably like 4 years ago. I'm actually really excited though. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. There's just so many books that I want to get off of my physical TBR before the end of this year, so I'm gonna try to knock out at least 3 books. I have picked short books, so I'm hoping that it won't be too difficult. I'll kind of show you guys my thoughts for the video. So the first book that I have here is The Inheritance Games. I started this in another reading vlog and I never ended up finishing it because Iron Flame had came out and I wanted to read that one instead. So I still have my bookmark in here. You guys can't even see it. So I'm on page almost 100. I'm about a quarter of the way through the book. I have noticed that with YA books, I don't know why, I just don't feel like as connected to the story for some reason. Obviously there's like an age difference, like I'm no longer in high school and I don't relate to a lot of the things that YA romance books talk about. I wasn't like super into this book, but it was a good story so far. So what this is about, it's about a girl, her name is Avery. She has just found out that she has won this stranger's inheritance, and all of the brothers are super confused on why, and like they think that she's a fraud and she has just like stolen all of their money. The only deal is that she has to actually live in the house that this old man lived in, and all of the brothers live there. So that's kind of what this book is about. I have gotten to the part where she has just found out that she's gotten all this money. The next book that we have is In a Holidays. This is by Christine Lauren. I showed this in my book shopping video. I want to try to read a Christmas book before Christmas comes. I figured this would be the perfect time to do it. I'm sure it's going to be a super quick book. I think it's only like 300 pages. I don't remember the last time I read a tiny book less than 500 pages. And then the last book I have here is The 7-Year Slip. This is by Ashley Poston. I have also talked about this in another video. It is about this girl who has just moved into her late aunt's apartment. She realizes that the apartment goes 7 years into the past, and there's another guy that is living in the apartment 7 years in the past. I've heard so many good things about this book, and I think it will be a super interesting one. Those are the 3 books that are my goals for today and tomorrow. I'm also currently reading Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I am about 130 pages into this. I am loving this book so far. If I have extra time, I will try to read more of this one, but I'm assuming, you know, these 3 books will probably be enough. That is the goal for today. I'm thinking I want to end with this one because I know that this will be the quickest for me because I've already started it. And I feel like by the time we get to the end, I'm gonna want to start a new book. So okay, I'm gonna start with the one that I least want to read, which is In a Holidays, just because I have not heard anything about this. I have not read one of Christina Lauren's books since the beginning of this year. I read that on Honeymooners. It was an okay book. It wasn't anything super special, but okay, I'm just gonna read a little bit of the back to you guys. It says, "It's the most wonderful time of the year, but not for Malin Jones. She's living with her parents, hates her going nowhere job, and she has just made a romantic error of epic proportions. But perhaps worst of all, this is the last Christmas May will be at her favorite place in the world, the snowy Utah cabin where she and her family have spent the holidays every year since she was born, along with 2 other beloved families. Mentally melting down as she drives away from the cabin for the final time, May throws out what she thinks is a simple plea to the universe. Please, show me what will make me happy. The next thing she knows, tires screech and metal collides, everything goes black, but when May gasps awake, she's on an airplane bound for Utah, where she begins the same holiday all over again. With one hilarious disaster after another sending her back to the plane, May must figure out how to break free of the strange time loop and finally get her true love under the mistletoe. I did not know that this was like that. What is this book like? It's like The Do-Over, I think. I haven't read that one, but it's like that concept of like Groundhog's Day. Let's go ahead and get started with reading this book. Okay guys, I'm about an hour into reading. I have 22 hours and 51 minutes left. I am 62 pages into this book. I looked to see how many pages there are and there's about 300. So I'm almost a third of the way through the book. So the girl's name is Malin. She is with her family at this cabin that she goes to with her family and some family friends. She has just kissed one of her like childhood friends that she grew up with, but it's not like the one that she's always had a crush on. It's his younger brother, and so she's like distraught about that because it was like a drunken thing. So she woke up the next morning and just like really regretted it, and she had to go tell her best friend everything that happened. Then everyone finds out that the people who own the cabin have to sell it because it's just too much to keep up with, and everyone is just really upset about it because it's been somewhere that they've gone for their whole childhood. It's just a very special place to all of them, so they're really upset about that news. So they're in the car driving away to the airport to go back home. They end up getting into a car crash. Malin, she wakes up on an airplane, and she is basically repeating going to the house again. So it's like 6 days prior to the trip. Her brother is like, what is going on? Like, we're going to the house right now. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, we literally just left there. That's basically where I'm at in the story. All of this is on the back, so it's not really giving anything away. I was just like laying down and reading, and I need to sit back up because I'm already getting tired. Reading literally makes me so tired. I'm gonna continue reading and we'll see what happens. Alright guys, I wanted to do a update on the book. So I'm about halfway through. We're on page 142. I actually really enjoy the book. I feel like I have not read a book like this in such a long time. I love Christina Lauren's books. I just feel like they're so lighthearted but also have like a deeper meaning to them. She has relived the day probably, I think it's her 3rd time reliving it right now. It's kind of getting to the point where she doesn't care what she says, doesn't care what she does. She has told her love interest that she has feelings for him and that she always has had feelings for him. That was something that was like super bold of her to do, because she basically was like, I don't even care at this point, like they're not even gonna remember it, so I might as well just say how I feel. I thought that that part was interesting. She is basically just realizing that with this tradition that they have every single year, her main goal at first was to try to be able to save the cabin and stop the couple from selling the cabin, because it was something that, it was like the one place that made her really, really happy, and that she thinks that's why the universe has brought her back every single day to this place, because it is like her happy place. But she doesn't want to let people know that she knows that they're selling it, because obviously nobody else knows, because nobody remembers. I feel like there's gonna be a deeper meaning to the book that I haven't quite figured out yet. I am really, really enjoying it. So it has been, I think it's been about 2.5 hours now. But yeah, I'm just gonna try to finish this book, and then I'm probably going to shower and do like my nighttime routine, and then probably crack open an Alani Nu to stay up all night. guys, I just showered. Clearly my hair felt so disgusting, so I had to shower before I finished this book, but I am almost done. I'm on page 230. Yeah, so I have about 70 pages left. Something pretty big just happened. I don't want to like say too much without spoiling it, but I told you guys there was like 2 brothers in the family. Now the other brother like getting upset, and he was like, I feel like you led me on all these years. So that's kind of what's happening right now. And then some big event just happened, is either going to take her back in time again or not. I have no idea what's going to happen next. I'm honestly like really enjoying this book. I know I said that before, but I officially just finished my first book of the video. Let's see what I'm at. So I'm at 18 hours and 35 minutes left, so that means that it took me 5.5 hours to read this. I feel like that's so much. Anyways, whatever. I really like this book. I don't know what I would rate it yet. Like I said earlier, I thought that there would be a deeper meaning to the story, and there definitely was. I think he even said it in the book, be careful what you wish for, because she obviously had made the wish to have the universe show her what will make her happy. Eventually she started reliving the same day over and over, and she was getting very frustrated and annoyed. So like 2/3 into the book, everything just started to fall apart, and she did not like the way that things were going. And that's when it had said like, be careful what you wish for, because not everything is going to turn out exactly how you want. Kind of like the quote, like the grass is always greener on the other side. So that was definitely prevalent in this book. At the end, there was definitely some parts that I could completely relate to, which made me like the book even more. There's also a page that I tabbed in here that I wanted to read the quote. It says, I've spent years not trusting my ability to make decisions and quietly letting life just happen to me. It cannot be a coincidence that the moment I stopped being passive and followed my instincts, everything seemed to fall into place. I know what makes me happy, trusting myself. What a gift, right? I found happiness. I just really like that quote, and I think there were some other quotes in here. If you're looking for a holiday book for this year or next year, I would recommend this one. This was super cute and had some great meanings behind the plot. I don't know if I said it's a childhood friends to lovers. Like I said, also Groundhog's Day, but I did not think it was like too repetitive. They did a really good job of making sure that each time that she went back to the same day that it told different scenes, and it was just switched up. I don't know what I rate this book. Right now I'd probably give it 3.5 to 4 stars, 3.75 if we're getting specific. Next up, I'm going to be reading The 7-Year Slip. I am hoping that reading another romance book back to back will not be too much for me, and I won't get like tired of it. I am so excited to finally read this. This has been on my TBR for months now, and I keep talking about it in videos and TikToks, and I just need to finally get to it. I need to know what the hype's about. This is kind of a similar thing. It has magic in it. The apartment is 7 years in the past as well as in the future, and I think it kind of bounces back between past and future, so you never really know what's gonna happen. But yeah, let's go ahead and start this book now, and we will start our timer. I've literally been sitting here since 1:30, so love that for me. But I am currently on page 42. I just finished the chapter where she basically finds out that the apartment is actually magical. She has heard it basically her whole life from her aunt that the apartment is magical. She just never really like understood why. She like went to bed after work, and she woke up and some guy like wakes her up while she's sleeping, and she's like freaking out. She's like, who are you? What are you doing in here? He was like, your aunt let me sublet this apartment while she's gone in Norway. She's like, first of all, my aunt is dead, and second of all, my aunt went to Norway 7 years ago. Then she goes out to the kitchen and sees that the calendar says like the year of 7 years ago. And that's basically like the premise of the whole story, is that the apartment has this magical ability to it. I'm curious to see how the story continues. She's also just been promoted at her job. I don't remember exactly what the position is, but it's basically like head of the book publishing company. It also did not mention how her aunt passed away, so I'm curious to see if it mentions that at all. Yeah, I'm gonna continue reading. I think I'm gonna open in Alani. It is 9 o'clock right now. Let's see what time we're at. We are at 17:43 left. Here we go. on page 65. To update where I'm at in the book. I am about halfway through. I'm on 47 right now. I don't know, I feel like I haven't formed like a full opinion on it yet, but so far what has happened is she has obviously met the guy that lived 7 years in the past. She started to form like a friendly relationship with him. He has just graduated like culinary school, so he's a really good cook. So he has been cooking for her, and then she ends up eventually going into the future again, and then she is like trying to find him. I don't want to spoil too much of the book. I do really like the idea of the whole book and like the magic of it, and I think it's really cool. I do think it's kind of predictable. I've just been able to know what's gonna happen next, basically. I hope I don't continue to predict it and predict the end, but then again, it's like romance books are kind of all the same. So anyways, I need to update you guys on the time. So right now it is midnight. My timer says 15 hours and 30 minutes left. So it's been 3 hours since I've been reading this book. I think I'm probably just gonna do like the 24 hours. So I started at 1:30, I think, and I'll read until 1:30 tomorrow. That is if I'm able to stay up all night. I am like getting tired, but I did open my Alani and I think it's helping. And like I want to go sit in my bed, but I know if I sit in my bed that I'm going to get tired, so I'm like trying to stay out here on the couch. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I at least definitely want to finish this book. You know, at this point it's like if I have to fall asleep for a little bit, then so be it. Obviously that's not the goal of the video, and I'll keep you guys updated on what happens. My hair is literally insane right now. Okay guys, I made it to 2 o'clock, so it's been 12 hours. I am on page 212 of this book, 208 of this book. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna have to like split this up because 24 hours is so long. Like I don't think I actually comprehended how much reading that is. I feel like I'm so delusional right now. I'm gonna get the 24 hours, okay? It's just gonna be split up a little bit. But yeah, I'm loving this. I'm like able to knock off books that have been on my physical TBR for so long. Like this one has been on there for so long. Inheritance Games, I can't even tell you how long I've had that book, like a ridiculous amount of time. So I'm excited to read that one next. I'm gonna go to bed though. I tried. Hi guys, it is the next day. I am gonna continue reading the 7-Year Slip. I have about 100 pages left. I am gonna continue my timer. I have 12 hours to do, and I'm probably only gonna get like 4 in today. You guys, I was so tired last night. Like I tried to stay up, but then I got into bed. I should not have gotten into my bed because then I knew I was like done for. That's okay. We're still gonna finish the challenge, and it's gonna be a little bit split up, but you know what? We're gonna make it through. So I'm gonna continue the timer on my phone. Like I said, I have 12 hours left. I'm excited to finish this book. It's going good so far. I honestly, what is even happening? I don't even know. She's met the guy in present time now, so there's that happening. It's such a different story than anything I've ever read. Like I love how different it is. So I'm almost done with the book. I have like 30 more pages left, but the main character has just come to like a realization about her job, and she goes to her boss, and her boss says to her, she says, "I didn't find out who I wanted to be until I was almost 40. You have to try on a lot of shoes until you find some you like walking in. never apologize for that. Once I found mine, I've been content for 20 years. And I just love that quote because I feel like I can relate so much to that, and just feeling so lost, and like it just goes to show that so many people experience that and feel that way, and it takes people so long to figure out what they actually love. It just gives me like reassurance and makes me feel better about my situation. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this book, and I will give you guys my final thoughts when I'm done. I just finished the 7-Year Slip. I enjoyed this book a lot. For rating, I would say about like a 3.5 stars. I am like so harsh with my ratings. I don't know, if I don't feel like anything super crazy about a book, I'm not gonna rate it highly. Like, I did really enjoy the story, and I enjoyed the different plot line to it, the magic in it. It's just like, it was just a good book. It wasn't anything spectacular. It was just a cute little romance book. I would recommend this to someone. Very fast paced. Right now it is sitting at like a 3.5 stars. Next, I'm going to finish up the Inheritance games. Let's see where we're at with our timer. Looks like I have 9.5 hours to go, which is just insane to me. I feel like I've been reading for way over 24 hours. I'm gonna continue on with this book. Like I said, I'm on page 100. I honestly don't even remember where it left off. This one is about the girl who inherits a ton of money, and everyone is super confused why, and the brothers are upset. I don't know how much more I'll be reading today for this video, but I will keep you guys updated with the time. What is up? It has been a minute since I've filmed for this vlog, but I wanted to update you guys. I am sick, so don't mind that. I wanted to update you guys on my reading because I have not filmed for this video in a very long time. I did end up finishing the Inheritance game. I think that's where I left off on reading in this video. I did stop my timer. I stopped using it because I honestly just forgot about it. I started filming that like 2 weeks ago. I was like, as long as I finish this book and start a little bit of another book or read a little bit more of another book, I'll be fine. I definitely do think I got to the 24 hours for sure. I just don't know when that was. But yeah, I finished this book. It was a really, really good book. I really enjoyed it. This was probably the quickest book I've ever read in my life. Like, it was so easy to read, and the chapters are like 3 pages long, if that, so it makes it even quicker to read. It was just a really fun story. So you're following Avery and then all of the brothers and just kind of trying to figure out why Tobias, which is the grandpa, left Avery all of this money and what really is going on here. It uncovers a lot at the end. There are 2 more to this story, and then there's also the brothers Hawthorne, which I think is an interconnected standalone. Maybe it's a part of the series. I don't really know. I just know that it has kind of the same characters in it. So I'm excited to read the last 2 books in the series and continue on and see what happens. But I gave this 3 out of 5 stars, I think. I feel like YA books are so hard for me to rate highly. I don't know what it is. For me, a book has to have a deeper meaning and just really pull at my heartstrings, and I have to be like super invested into the story. A lot of the time I don't feel that way about books, so that is why I rated this 3 out of 5. But I do think it's a good book. Like, I would recommend it to people. I think it's a fun little mystery. That's my thoughts on this book. And then I've been reading like so many different books, you guys. I've been jumping from book to book and like trying to figure out what I've been wanting to read. So I actually started rereading Happy Place by Emily Henry. This is my all-time favorite book. I'm on page 86, and I actually am going through and annotating it. I have nothing but good things to say about this book. I love it so much, and it will always make me so happy to read. So I started reading that, and then I also am continuing and reading Powerless. I'm loving this book so far. Like, I read 100 pages of this book yesterday, and I think, let me see what page I'm on. I'm on page 275, so I'm over halfway done with this. And you guys, the hype is so worth it. And that is coming from a very, very picky reader, picky rater. The relationship between Kai and Peyton, it's like slowly starting to build, and it is so good. Like, Like, I am loving it so far, so I highly recommend this book. I don't know how it's gonna end, but I'm sure it's going to be a great book overall. I really want to read some more of this tonight. And then I also ended up getting an Amazon Fire for Christmas. I have been reading on that a little bit. I started Flawless, which is the first book in the Chestnut Spring series. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you've known that that's a series that I really want to get into and have been wanting to read. I'm excited that I finally started the first book in that series, so that'll be another fun one to get into. But yeah, my reading has kind of been all over the place. I don't know what it is. I just have so many books that I want to read, and like I'm like, I need to read this one, I need to read this one, and I'm just like jumping all over the place. But yeah, that's gonna be the end of this video. I feel like I did not really do a good job with this, but I think next time I would definitely split it up a little bit more and not try to do it all at once, because that's just not possible for me. Like, I cannot stay up all night. That's literally, I've done that, like I said, maybe twice in my life. It just does not seem feasible for me, so we're not gonna try it again. This was a fun video. If you guys want to see more of these, let me know. Like I said, I'll probably split it up and do it a different way, but I would be willing to try it again. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'm so excited for 2024 and for all of the fun new videos I have planned and just new content that I'm gonna come out with, and just to see how many books I can read in this upcoming year, expand my horizons and expand my reading journey. So if you want to stick along with me, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!